Stop pretending that you don't have a dark side. Stop acting like you have it all figured out when deep down there are parts of yourself you don't even want to look at. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. The parts of you that feel too messy, too embarrassing, too shameful. Too shameful to acknowledge. The thoughts you suppress, the emotions you swallow, the things you judge in others because deep down they are reminding you of something inside yourself. Write that one down because many of you need to learn that one. Carl Jung called this the shadow self. And whether you acknowledge it or not, it is shaping your life. Hey guys, and welcome back at Conscious Creator Jen. As always, I was scrolling on Instagram regarding this topic, and then I saw this quote right here. Our shadow side holds the characteristics, emotions, and sensations we perceive as inappropriate or unattractive and should be hidden from others and the world. Identifying, accepting, and honoring this side is the key to a rich relationship with ourselves and others. For you to truly be able to lock in with yourself and to be there for yourself is to embrace your shadow self. But what is the shadow self? The shadow self is the side of you that society, family, or yourself taught you to reject. It's the anger you push down because you have been told to act nice. The confidence you have buried because you've been called too much. The sadness you ignore because people have told you that you've been too weak. Young believe that we build our ego, our conscious self, by selecting traits we identify with and pushing away the rest. You think, I'm kind, I'm smart, I'm strong. But what about the moments you feel cruel, ignorant, or weak? Where do those feelings go? They don't disappear, they just go underground into the shadow. If you don't acknowledge your shadow, it doesn't just sit there quietly, it finds ways to control you. You probably are asking, okay, but how will the shadow show up in my life? Ever met someone who is constantly calling other people fake? They're probably not being honest with themselves. Ever notice that people who judge others for seeking attention are usually desperate for validation themselves? That's projection. And that's their shadow running the show. Young explains that when we reject a part of ourselves, we start projecting it into others. You ever hate someone for no reason? Feel triggered by someone's confidence, ambition, or lifestyle? Maybe that's part of you trying to surface. A part you were told wasn't okay to express. Your shadow shows up in the people you resent, in the emotions you avoid, and in the patterns you cannot seem to break. Ignoring it won't make it go away. People who refuse to acknowledge their shadow live in constant contradiction. They pretend to be good but feel consumed by envy. They act confident but fall apart at the slightest criticism. They chase perfection but they feel like frauds. And it gets worse. Suppressed emotions don't just stay buried. They turn into self sabotage, anxiety, depression, even physical symptoms like chronic fatigue or stress. You see this everywhere. People who explode over minor things because they have ignored their real anger for years. People stuck in toxic cycles because they never address their deep-seated fears and their insecurities. I know last year I was in that same place as well. I ignored a lot of anger in my past, and that anger came from losing a person I loved so much. I ignored it to the point where I broke down and I was so aggressive over a situation that you cannot even be so mad about. Then I was sitting by myself and thinking, why did I react the way I did? And then all of a sudden, I was like, damn, I did push down a lot of anger that was inside of me that I needed to work with. So, what I did is I faced my anger. I was talking with myself. I did journal. I wrote down things that I wanted to change, and I wrote down why I got triggered the way I did got triggered, and I even apologized over a few things I got triggered about because a few people also got hurt in the process of me going through that phase. So I didn't want them to feel like it was a thing they could do differently. I just needed to be with my fears and needed to face my anger for it to go away. So I did. And now I feel so happy, grateful, and at peace. And I wish that for everybody. I embrace my shadow self. And now I see it as my biggest strength. You can also see it when people don't want to be alone because they don't want to sit with their real thoughts. I used to be like that as well. I always wanted to be with somebody else around me and I wanted to be busy. But now I love spending time alone and I love my solitude. So, yeah, you just need to face the fears, face your anger, face your thoughts, and work with them. Because if you don't face your shadow, it will control you, and you don't want that for yourself. Jung wasn't just talking philosophy, this is real psychology. Studies in modern psychology back this up as well. Repressed emotions have been linked to increased stress hormone, worsened mental health, and even physical illness. The mind and body aren't separate. Everything is interlinked. So mind, body, soul connection, that's like a real thing. So you need to keep it like in a good place. What you suppress will find a way out. Keep that in mind. The good news is that knowing this will change everything. That's why I put this word out. Once you become aware of your shadow, you will stop being controlled by it. You stop overreacting because you recognize when something is actually about you. You stop judging others because you understand projection. You will stop feeling lost because the parts of yourself you actually rejected are the parts that will be your biggest power. You don't have to do some deep therapy sessions. You just need to start noticing your shadow. Start paying attention. What traits do you judge in others? What annoys you, triggers you, or makes you feel superior? That might be a sign of something you haven't accepted in yourself. What patterns keep repeating in your life? Write it down. Write it all down. Journal about it. Make a video about it. Like, listen to it, but write it down and get clear about all these questions. Do you have the same relationship issues, the same self doubt, the same struggles? What are they trying to show you? And what parts of yourself do you hide from others? What are you afraid people will see? What are you afraid to admit about yourself? Awareness is everything. This isn't about fixing yourself. You are not broken. Your shadow isn't your enemy, it's your biggest ally. It's just a part of you that got left behind. And maybe it's time to bring it back. I know you needed this message because you made it this far. So, yeah, this video is for you. You have spent years trying to be the version of yourself that feels safe, acceptable, and approved by others. But what about the parts you left behind? What about the real you? The shadow isn't here to destroy you, it's here to make you whole. Everything you suppressed, denied, or rejected still belongs to you. And when you stop running from it, you will get your power back. So stop pretending. Stop fearing the parts of yourself you don't really understand. The more you embrace who you really are, the light in the dark, the more unstoppable you become. If this resonated with you, don't just leave it here. Start questioning, start observing, and start paying attention to the things you ignore. And if you're ready to go deeper, if you are serious about this journey, drop a comment below. Tell me what part of this video hits home for you. Let's talk about it. Because self awareness is the first step. And once you see the truth, you cannot unsee it. Thank you for watching this video. And if you like the video, share it with a family member or friend you think might need this as well. And see you at the next one. Bye, guys.